Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome along to a early access map preview of Elk Mountain, Wyoming by Elk Mountain Modding. Now this is a 4x map, so will be PC only and it's coming to your computer very soon. The map we're on is pretty much the final version. I think there's a few traffic splines that might still need to be added and a few things here and there just to be tidied up, but for all intents and purposes it is out for testing and hopefully, fingers crossed, won't be too far away from being released. But a huge thank you to CJ at Elk Mountain Modding for allowing us to have an early access preview of this. This is where we start. When you first load into the map, you're standing on this mountain, just down behind us a touch, and I walked up here and was blown away by the view. This honestly is a beautiful map. It's got a little bit of everything for you. There's some mining, there's lots of space for forestry, there's some predefined fields, and there's some big open grassland plains that provide the opportunity to try out pretty much anything you can try to think of in Farming Simulator. And it has just all been seamlessly integrated. It all feels very natural. Nothing feels like it's been crammed in and doesn't fit. It's just a beautiful map. So we'll go and take a look at the PDA. We'll explore some of the key features. We'll go for a drive and have a look at those. But I do want to leave some of the things for you to explore and find on your own, because I think this is a map that will be a lot of fun to get into and have a look around and find all of those little hidden gems that might exist. I think also this could be a fantastic multiplayer map. Anyhow, let's go and take a look at the PDA and go for a little bit of an explore. So the first thing that stands out, this is a very unique map. You can see all the contours for the different hills. We're up here in the right hand side at Elk Mountain, elevation of 247. I'm assuming that's feet. Is that feet or yards? I'm not actually sure. We'd have to double check that. Not quite the highest point though. Liberty Peak here on the other side of the town is the highest area in the map. It is broken up into really three parts. On the north side up here we've got all of these hills with a whole heap of forestry. Through the middle is the Elk River, which sort of splits the map in half. Down the bottom we've got the river flats, the plains, where we have a lot of arable fields, 10 in total. And then on the other side we've got some more elevation changes, but some rather high prairie type plains, which have trees scattered through them, but are just open and there for you to, I guess if you wanted to develop your farm in some way or the other, or start from scratch with that kind of development, that could be an option over there. Now some of the other features as well, up the top here we do have a mine, and this has been designed with some input from Argsy of the Yukon River Valley fame to integrate some terraforming and mining. There is a gold plant up in there which we'll go and have a look at. And then on the other side, pretty much diagonally opposite, we do have the gravel pit as well, so there's some other options there for mining. So you're really covering off just about everything you can think of to do in Farming Simulator at the moment. Forestry, farming, mining, start from scratch, working on a ranch, all sorts of things are pretty much covered off in here. Add to that a fantastic town down here we'll go and take a look at, which is just has a lot of character, a lot of detail, and will be a perfect setting for some roleplay if that's something you want to do. There is a functioning train. You can see it's just coming through the bottom left corner there as we speak, and you can use that to load into and sell out of. So pretty much everything's covered in here. I just think it's fantastic. So, and we'll just take a quick look at the farmland here as well. So you can see the starting yard area down here, $219,000. No fields as such. We'll go and take a look at what is there, because I know there is some open area that you could use for mowing some grass or turning it into an arable field. But having a look here, field 5 is the largest, I think 60 acres almost, $240,000. Some of the others, they come with land surround, so it's a little bit hard to assess value and the like. But you can see down there $69,000 for 17 or so acres. Other areas, the high plains up here, $942,000, but 194 acres. And a whole lot of blocks. Everything all around is into different blocks. The main river area and the roads are all purchasable for zero value, so that's nice if you want to be able to place things down on that or do some landscaping. Again, up in the forestry, all sorts of different options up in here. $2 million to buy the mine land, plus all the forestry around it. So some really great little parcels of land all scattered around. And just before we get to our tour, I just wanted to take a quick look here at the goods. Now we've got all our standard crops and everything like that. There's no extra crops on the map, but if we come all the way down the bottom here, you can start to see some new fill types. We've got coal, tailings, concrete, dirt, gravel, sand, iron, pay dirt, gold, concentrate, crude oil, gold bars, and dry corn. Now, the dry corn interested me because I haven't actually seen a corn dryer anywhere, so I don't know whether you're going to need a mod. That might be something that will come out in the future. Likewise with some of the other areas there, crude oil and coal, I'm not quite sure. Concrete, not quite sure what the intention there is for those, but there is those extra fill types already built into the map, and that will come in helpful for using the gold mine and the gravel pit with the terra farm, which we'll go and take a look at very soon. And the other thing that is in here as well, obviously being an alpine area, Wyoming, it's quite high elevation. There is a custom crop calendar, so you can see there December, January and February really are just completely no-go. There's nothing happening in winter, but you can plant winter crops here. Wheat, barley, canola, oats and sorghum can all be planted in autumn to grow across winter, then come into harvest here in June. All the rest of your crops, and in fact I'd quite like this, these other crops can still be planted in spring. That's something that's been missing where there's been winter crops done before. You couldn't do them as a spring crop, but here you can do that. And you can see all the different parts here harvesting through from September to November for some of your other crops. The ones that are a little bit more temperature sensitive would probably be the best way to describe it. So very nice to see some consideration being given to the growth calendar and growth cycles. Alright, let's stop talking and go and take a bit more of a look around. From up here we will go for a little bit of a drive. We might head up to the mine and take a look at that. We'll head down to the main farm, which is just here, which is where you start with all your equipment if you're a new farmer. We'll go and take a look at that as well. We'll take a peek at some of the main fields. We'll go for a drive around over on the high plains, and we'll go and take a look at the town. So I think that'll pretty much cover the main features off. So let's go and jump in the pickup and go for an explore. So just as we walk down the hill here to the pickup, let's listen to that. Hear that sound? The bugle playing? Now that's a little bit of a clue. There is collectibles in the map, and every time you hear the bugle, you know you're getting close to one. So I think that's quite a unique way that we haven't seen in the map before as to how to find the collectibles. What you're looking for is the antlers here. So I think, I'm not sure exactly how many are scattered around the map, but these are the antlers. If you hear the bugle playing, you'll know you're getting close to them. Very clever little idea there. But let's jump here into the pickup and let's go for a little bit of a drive. We'll head down to the main farm and go and take a look at that. Just look at the character in this track as we drive and negotiate our way down the ridgeline. This is very, very cool. So much thought and so much effort has gone into creating this and giving it this real alpine feel. It's really, really enjoyable to navigate. I don't even know if I'm going the right way. That is the beauty of this map. I just think you will spend time roaming around and exploring. Could even be a great one to have a horse ranch and go exploring on horseback. That could be a great way to go and see some of the sights. And then as we get further down the hill, we come across these series of switchbacks, a log across the track. Just the character in this map. We've only been driving for a minute or two, and already we've experienced 2 or 3 different types of terrain, different feels to the map, and there's just so much to take in. My mind's actually exploding at the moment. This is really enjoyable just to be driving through here and exploring it. Then coming out of the little forest track, the switchbacks, we come onto these more gravel roads. We take a right up there. I should have the mini-map up, we'll prop that up there. That one will lead us up to the mine. So you can just see there, the light blue line to our right will take us up to the Bighorn mine, but we're going to head down to the main farm. We'll come back up and take a look at the mine very, very soon. We'll go and check out the farm first. So we're down off the hill. If you look just above the sign there, that is where we just were. We've driven down from the peak up there, come down into Elk Mountain Ranch. Now you'll recognise some of the buildings here. These are very much Elk Mountain Modding's own creations and familiar parts of his mod packs. Got some floating deer here too as well. Get out of our way and we'll go and take a look at what we've got down here in the farmyard. So some nice barn buildings, very, very much in Elk Mountain's own style, with a nice ranch feeling. All the equipment is in here. Now one thing I do like, and I noticed, everything's dirty, everything has a used feel to it. You're not getting a brand new shiny farm. This is a used farm. This is areas that have been equipment that has been used and abused, so it all comes with that. Over the back here we do have a cattle barn, cow barn. Now this is actually very familiar to me because we've just used this on No Man's Land with the farm sim guy, so all very familiar. And goes to show how with a little bit of different styling you can give it a completely different feel to your yard area than what, say, we did with ours. Very, very different, but very unique as well. So that's nice to see. So we'll go and take a look around a little bit further, see what else there is. We've got some hay baling equipment in there, a couple of balers, some mowers, and a tedder there, a diesel tank. Over the other side there we did drive past a couple of conveyors. We've got some grain tanks, or grain silos. And if we come and have a look in the shed and see what equipment we have in here, looks like we might have a workshop space. And our tractor, which is a 7R, it's got the front loader there on it as well. There's actually not much in here. I thought there was more equipment in here than there actually is. Then the majority of the other things are over here in the shed. We've got a planter, a trailer, fertilizer spreader. There is a windrower there as well. Cultivator on the other side. And then over this way, we've got what looks like a horse float. There is a horse pasture up here. I haven't seen a combine, so I'm not sure if there's one we start off with or not. But this is indeed the horse barn, horse pasture. So if you wanted to run a ranch that had horses, you can do that here as well. And just very quickly, we tab through, we're in the pickup, we've got the tractor there, the truck, and back to the pickup, so no combine included. Again though, nothing to worry about when you're playing on PC, because of course we do have plenty of options on being able to add money in through different console options. And just up here, very separate from the main farmyard, which I do like as well, we've got the main homestead and another shed up here. Very nicely detailed, again, very familiar for a lot of people who've used Elk Mountain Modding's equipment. Farm Sim Guy's office is over there outside. Invite him over for a dodgy meal, make sure he knows where that is. And then here inside, very, very well detailed farmhouse, just fantastic. Perfect for a little bit of roleplay if you wanted to do that on this map. And lastly, we'll just head over here. We've got the wood burner, the furnace, so a sell point for timber, another small little shed there, and we've also got a pre-placed greenhouse. One of the large greenhouses there, nice fence around it for keeping the animals out of the outdoor beds there. And just a nice decoration, just the planter there, the old tractor. Familiar with what that is? It almost looks like an old Fordson or something like that, not sure exactly. But a beautiful, beautiful little model there just to add that character to the homestead. So really, really well done. Just like I said at the start, this map has just blown me away with the amount of detail, the amount of consideration that has gone into all the different aspects of it. Remember, this is a 4X, so it's not that not a small area to go through and add all this detail into. So a lot of effort has gone into that. Alright, so we're here, this is the main farm. We'll go for a drive back up and take a quick look at the mine just to show you that, and just discuss a little bit how that is going to be able to be used. And then I think we'll come back down, take a quick peek at a couple of these fields. We'll come for a drive in here and have a look around the town before going up and taking a check at the high plains and ending up going back around towards where we started up here on Elk Mountain. Just driving along here towards the mine, and we've got on the right here the burn ridge. Very nice to see that little bit of detail there. It's been a forest fire or something gone through there at some stage. Another little piece of detail that's added in here. But we're coming in here now to the mining area. So you'll see we do have a couple of sheds and things here. I'm not sure if there's a wash plant in here. There may quite possibly be a processing plant in one of these sheds. I haven't gone through and looked through all of them, so I'll leave that as something you can find. But we'll just head down this way and enter into the mine a little bit further. Now this is set up to use Terrafarm. Now I haven't had a play around with it properly over here though. Just head over this way. We do have our wash plant set up. So you can take this dirt and wash that to hopefully get some pay dirt that can then go up to a wash plant and be refined into gold. But if we just hop out here and take a look over the edge, a little bit different to how it's been done on the likes of Yukon by Argsy. This is actually formed, that's contoured. This is where you need to have Terrafarm and go down there and dig into the ground at the bottom there of the mine and bring that dirt up and out here. There's a nice track running up and around the outside. You can bring your dump trucks up all the way around to the top and load them into the wash plant up here to get your fines. Of course, then it has the sluice runs and everything like that all comes down here, and your tailings will wash out the back there, back down into the other side here. So really nice, really nicely detailed. Great to see modders working together with this. Just as we come down out of the mountains again, we'll just take a look here across some of these arable fields. Field number 4 here on our left. We're looking across to some of the other ones there. Very nice sized fields, a good variety and a good assortment of sizes. So plenty of options there to take a look at. We've got a lake up here, Bighorn Lake up on our right, and right up above that is where we just were at the gold mine. It is up there behind one of those ridges. So while most of the production chain places are located down in the main town, there is a few outliers around about. We've got the cereal factory and the oil mill up there on the outskirts of town. So they're a little bit separate, closer to the main fields here. You can see all on our left. Now I'm just going to hop out here and we're just going to go up and take a quick look as an overview from this side of the map. Just as a bearing point, over in the distance there was the ridge we started out on. So we'll just hop out here, grab the drone out, we'll go into flight mode and go and just take an overall look from this end of the map. So moving around from the left or the north over the ridge there would be up to the gold mine. We're looking along what would be the river flats, the flood valley here around Elk River. Looking back across all the arable fields, field number 7 immediately in front of us. And looking all the way down towards, right in the distance there and amongst the orange trees, would be one of the furthest fields away. Now we're looking more towards the south, towards the town, and right, if we carry on around to the right, you can just start to make out the plains which are in behind that next to a lot of forestry trees. On the edge of the river over there is the sawmill, which we'll go and take a quick look at the moment. And just in our foreground you can see there's a couple more places you could set up as some starter farms if you wanted something other than the main ranch. And if we just carry on having a look around here, we'll get there in just a second. There's another nice flat area. It does have the one shed in there, a couple of sheds actually. But if you wanted to build a yard as well, this could be another good place to start off with if you wanted to be more accessible to some of the arable land. But nice big flat area to be able to put some placeables down. So we are over here on the map. We're just coming on to Route 242. This light grey area here is the area I just looked at from above. You could see could be placeables. I'm going to head along the road here, which is going to take us down into the town. We'll branch off and have a quick look at the sawmill and the train station down there where we can sell from. Before we head through the town, have a look at that, and then we'll mosey on up and take a look over the high plains there and see some of that area as well. And there again is that large placeable area, which is nice to see. Good options if you wanted to put down, even could be for a different production point or something like that. So we'll hang out here. I love the textures on these roads and just the detail again on the edge of the road. Just looks well worn, a well travelled route that's seen a lot of traffic but probably not had the maintenance it might need. So on the right there was one of those farmyard areas you could buy, and then on the left is actually the gas station. You come down here and pick up some diesel if you need to. Nicely branded Texaco. Look at the detail there with the old machinery and equipment that's pushed into the side. It's been taken in to the mechanics and wasn't able to get going again, so it's become a little bit of scrap. Now another one of the features of the map, most of the bridge crossings, or a number of the bridge crossings, have these great truss bridges. Just a fantastic bridge. Lots of space on it for your equipment. If you're travelling over there with a low loader with a combine or something on the back, I'd say there's probably enough width to deal with the traffic coming in the other direction. I'm just going to pause here just before we head into town, which is just up and around the corner. Look at the detail here on the sign, log trucks entering highway. Now the sawmill road is off to the right, which we're going to go in and have a look at in just a second. Firstly, we're going to go take a look at the Freedom County Fairground. Now this is all purely decorative, but it's set up as a rodeo. We've got the pens there, we've got the arena out there, we've even got the barrel set up so you could bring your horses down and go for some barrel racing. Multiplayer server, I can just imagine some races going on in this. 2 or 3 people sitting up in the grandstand, someone riding their horse around, a stopwatch, and you could have some actual real fun with this. Could be the next competitive multiplayer for Farming Simulator. Barrel races on Elk Mountain. Very, very well done. Very well considered. Right, let's go and head over the road to the sawmill and go and check that out. We're just driving here into the sawmill. Two main parts to this. Now we've obviously got some nice stacks of logs and that scattered around. You can see the sawmill in here on the right, even a space where logs could have been floated down the river in older times. Obviously all trucked nowadays. We do have the sawmill here on our right, and we've got a second one over here as well. So two different options there for selling logs. And then if we carry on through here, one of the things I really liked about this takes us over to a grain sell point. You'll recognise this is one of the Elm Creek base map sell points through there with your hopper bottom trailers. But from a logging perspective, we head down here along this road, and we've got this great staging area over here to be able to bring logs in and load them on the train. So when the train comes past, you can hijack it and stop it here, load it up with logs in this area, and there's plenty of space for a wheel loader or a grapple or something like that to load directly onto the trains. So I just think this is a nice, well thought out feature, bringing the train into the map, but also providing the space to be able to use it, because too often the trains are there, they are either not usable or there isn't enough space to be able to load onto them. So I just think that's a really, really well thought out part of the map. I know I keep on going on about the attention to detail, but we're next to the sawmill here, and you've got this space. It's got some felled trees in it, it's got some younger trees growing back through the debris. Just could have easily just been a forest brought all the way down to the edge and be done with it, but no, it's gone that extra little bit further to try and give these different layers to the map, and it really is. Everything about this map is layered. There's been consideration given to every aspect of it, and it's just adds to the beauty of the map overall. We're now entering the town of Clearwater, Wyoming, and as I said at the start, this town has some real character. It is it's gorgeous to drive through. It's gorgeous to look at. It may use some base game buildings. There's the fire department, which is instantly recognisable from Elm Creek, the service station, Garrison's there. But just the smaller attention to detail, the traffic lights, the street signs, just these signs here with the lights on them and everything like that. You know, welcome to Clearwater, or welcome Clearwater. Just everything. There is such a nice atmosphere and feel in this town, along with the base game maps, base game buildings. Sorry, you get things like a KFC down here. I think there's a McDonald's somewhere as well. So Taco Bell next to it. And then we get out here, we're going to ignore the stop sign, but out also almost into the suburbs. Got the houses up there on the hill, looking back over the town. Even a football field. You could be a groundskeeper and come down with a rider mower and mow that to keep it maintained for the local high school. But all through here is a number of different production chain points or sell points. We're not going to look at all of them, but if I just scroll in very quickly, we've got the fast food restaurant, the sugar mill, carpentry, the vehicle shop is down there, and we've got a dealership there as well, tailor shop, bakery, all sorts around here. Got a seed, food and lime buy point, gas station. Everything's been included in that. It's just a very, very well considered town, and just has a very, very nice feel to it. Just feels like you're in small town America. So we're heading out the south side of town and heading up into the high plains to go and have a look at the prairie type area up there. Very open, but we've got another sell point there on the right, Clearwater Co-op that is called. Somewhere you can go and sell your products. Again, lots of detail in there, very nicely to see. Biogas plant in there as well, so it's got all the features that you would expect of any map. But now we're heading into the sort of the southern half of the map, which again has a very, very different feel to the other side, the north, which is more steeper forestry area. This here is a little bit more rolling ground with quite a high plateau with some very, very large open grassland areas. We'll just get up the top here and take a look at those. So to make sure you've got your bearings, we've just come up this blue road here from the town, and we're at this intersection looking towards the west at these high plains, and we've got more here behind us. So we're just out of the car. I'm just going to jump up into the flight mode and have a look at that. That truly is some expansive grassland that does provide you with an opportunity to come up here. You can mow this, you could turn this all into an arable field if you wanted to, you could build your own farm up here. There's just so much space, and again, such a different feel. There's still forestry around here, and don't get me wrong, that is the highest peak on the map. Liberty Peak, I think it was called when we looked at it earlier. But looking back around this way, we look back through here, and we're going to head along that road down to the other side of the map. And again, you can just see all of those grasslands through there. Very no man's land, calm lands type of vibe to this, almost ripe for a survival series. I think this could be very well done, particularly being on a 4X. I think the options there for that are pretty endless. So like I said, we are here. We're going to go for a drive along this road we were just looking at. We will go down and check out the gravel pit before heading around to these last plains up here, and we'll go and take a look at Wyoming grain. Before we head back through, I think we might go back down this road. We'll go and take a look at the animal dealer and a couple of these areas through here before we finish things off. I'm coming to the end of the high plains, but that is such an expansive open area. And heading down here to head over the river, which is I think the North Arm it was called. But before we do that, we're just going to stop in here and take a look over the gravel pit. We've got a debris crusher there to turn your rocks into lime. But the gravel pit is exactly the same setup as the gold mine. Using Terrafarm, you can get in there and extract gravel. Kind of got the two areas up the top there. You might want to start up there, it's a little bit more accessible. And you've kind of got the bottom part of the pit down there to take that gravel out of as well. So there you go, something else if you wanted to set up as a mining operation. This is what I was saying, as a multiplayer, this has so many different facets to it. You could have a logging crew, you could have a mining crew, you could have a farming crew, you could have a ranch crew running animals. So many different options. And to top it off, you've got this nice deep gully or gorge here with this rickety old wooden bridge to drive over. And as we head out the other side here, more high plains, more big open rolling ground with lots and lots of grass that could be mown. Don't know about anyone else, but that church feels like the scene of a horror movie. The lone tree on the hill, there'd be a story or two to be told in that church. It really is just the little details. So we're heading up here towards the grain sell point on the eastern side of the map. There's one little farmyard we're going to take a quick look at up in here. There's something I want to show you before we head on the main road back into the town. Yep, that's right, it's for sale. You can buy this. This could be your starting farm as an alternative to the main farmyard. I'm just going to head through the gates here. Very compact, very small. We've got a farmhouse over there, very much the Elm Creek farmhouse, one you've seen on a lot of maps. Likewise, we've got the Elm Creek barn, but this is the Elm Creek barn with a difference. Elk Mountain has spent a lot of time animating and making the barns all accessible. All the doors open, they all have interiors. We can go around here, doors under the bottom there all open up. That shed door doesn't, that just looks like a little dry shack. But I think where it really shines, we come up around the other side up here to the top. Take a look through some of these doors. Beautiful workshop in there. And another beautiful storage space. So a lot of effort has been put into making these functional. I'm not sure what you'd put in this. It's only a small area. You know, you could park a pickup or something in there. You could use the space down the bottom here to store some bales or some small equipment in, skid steer or the like. You're not going to get much more in there, but the fact that he's gone to the effort to make those animated, to give them interiors, it's really brought those kind of things to life. It was one of the gripes I had, certainly when Elm Creek was first released, along with all the other maps that came with FS22 by default, was this was missed. These things were missed, and it just made some of the aspects of the default maps just not as enjoyable. So we do have another shed over here. That one's purely decorative as well, along with the farmhouse. So something as an alternative to the bigger yard, the bigger ranch style yard, is to come here and have a smaller little holding. It's still not cheap and does have a lot of land. We had to buy it to be able to open the sheds, which is a very nice touch as well. But 100 acres and $416,000. So a decent amount of land, because you do pick up some over the road. Right, we'll go up and have a look at the grain sell point and back into town. This is the larger of the main two elevators. This is called Wyoming grain. We just head in here. You've got two aspects to that. Head around here on the left hand side. I do believe through here is a buy point for your dry products, lime and fertilizer and seeds. And then we'll carry on around the other side. Back through the middle here, we've got our regular sell point. So you can come in here and drop your crops off and sell them to the elevator. So again, a couple of default things, and wouldn't it be great to see some customized elevators, something in more big galvanized steel silos, big tall elevators, something you might see in some typical co-op type areas in the States. Right, so we're going to head back along the road here. Just grab your bearings. We are here on Route 242, the main road, the yellow route which goes through the centre of the map. This will take us back down into town. We have come around the blue route here, down through the high plains past the gravel pit. Up to here, that's the silo at the farmyard we just looked at. That's where we've been. Elk Mountain was where we started. So we haven't gone up and taken a look at Hatchet Lake. Look, it's a forestry area. It is beautiful, but I'm going to leave that for you to go and explore. That'll be a great one to go through on horseback, I reckon. But we're going to head back down here on Route 242. We're going to stop in at these 2 points, take a quick look at those before we wrap things up. We're just coming up here on the road on the left. This takes us down into the animal dealer. We'll just hang a left into here. Get on down the road. Looks like someone's already been here. Might have been me the first time around, and I was speaking garbage. So we'll just take a quick look at this. Pretty stock standard for a stockyard, but just nicely detailed. We do have a buy point there for your bales, hay, straw, silage, and we've got a trigger there for your animals. But nothing out of the ordinary there, just nicely detailed again, as is the consistent part of this map. Now there is a road out the back here that can take you on a little bit of a loop, head back up to the plains on that way, and if we head down that way it would take us back into town. But if we did that, we would bypass the other sell point we want to go and have a look at. So we'll go back out this way and check that out. Another yard here on the right, again using the Elm Creek modified barns there. So again, another option. I think that's what, 4 or 5 different places we've seen you could set up your own little farmyard rather than using the main ranch. Well, if you just come in here, we do have the feed store straight ahead of us. There is a buy point somewhere in here, must be to our right. Obviously a buy point there for hay, so we got the hay, straw and silage again, but there's also a lime and fertilizer point around here somewhere too. Not sure exactly where it is, but if we just zoom in, we see we've got the feed store there. We do have the seed, fert and lime, and also the hay buy point. So the last part of the journey, heading back into the town from the other side. We didn't actually come this way, we turned around in town and didn't head back out this road, so heading back into Clearwater. So I think we're just going to pull in here to the diner. That's been pretty exhausting going for a drive around there, so we're going to hop out here, we're going to go grab a bite to eat. But I think that is a fantastic time to wrap up our tour here. So first off, I'd just like to say a huge thank you again to Elk Mountain CJ for giving us the pleasure and privilege of taking an early look here at Elk Mountain, Wyoming. Like I said at the start, it's a 4x map for PC only. Something I heard in the Giants podcast was playing a map can often feel like a tour. Now, I've never been to Wyoming and I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to make it there, but I feel like I've just seen a little part of it. It's blown me away. I'm actually almost speechless on what to say for it. So I think on that, all I can do is encourage you that when it is available, if you're able to download it and throw it on your PC, give it a chance, give it a go and have a look around it, because even if you just spend an hour driving around and just taking it all in, I think you will thoroughly enjoy that. So on that note, I hope you have all enjoyed that map preview of Elk Mountain, Wyoming by Elk Mountain Modding, a 4x map for PC only. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.